97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time to talk some Utah Jazz basketball. Joining us, Danny Ainge. Danny, how are you?
Scott, good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm trying to live life and trying to figure out what life is like without our guy Hans, but we're going to hold down the fort while we try to find the next great radio star. So I appreciate you bearing with us.
Not even trials. You're just doing it solo. I like it.
Well, yeah, we've got a few more people coming in, but, I guess I was selfish. I just wanted to sit and chat with you and go over a lot of things. And first off, the anatomy of a trade, and I know not every trade is created equal. Was this something that was in the works for a while, or did it come together pretty quickly with Jaren Jackson?
It took a while. Yeah, I mean, Jaren has been a player that's been unavailable for any team over the last year or two or three. So the interest, when they called and had some interest in making some deals, and we called them. You'd have to talk to Austin about what that order was. But anyway, yeah, I think it moved fast. We had a lot of discussion. But when I say moved fast, I meant there was conversation fast, but the trade process went slow. It took a call back, a few days later, there's more. So it went all the way up until, very close to the deadline.
So when you are working with a team, and this isn't just about Jaren Jackson, but just in general, I think, so, maybe even months or even years in advance, you kind of express, hey, we really like this guy. Just kind of let us know if there's anything coming down the pipeline. Is that kind of the groundwork that maybe is laid way in advance of something that comes down, that eventually comes to fruition?
Yeah, I mean, I think that those conversations have been had before, but like I said, he's been a player that was never been available before.
Yeah.
So when he was, we made a plan to see if it was something that we could do and something that was good for us.
What does he do for this team, not just short term, but long term?
His versatility, his defense, his ability to score in the paint, his ability to spread the floor. I mean, he's a very versatile player and does a little bit of everything. Can handle the ball. For a 6'11" guy with a 7'5" wingspan, he's pretty well skilled all around basketball. So I think he's a really nice piece to add for our team.
You look at the potential size. I know that Walker Kessler's got to go through restricted free agency, but just hypothetically, with him and Jaren, and then Lauri at the 3, and Ace at the 2, and Keonte at the 1. I mean, you went to you could potentially have an extremely big lineup on your hands. What does that do for this team, and how does that help you?
Well, it just helps. It makes defense easier. It doesn't guarantee that you're better defensively, but size does matter in our business. And so the ability to play big and small, Walker could play the 5 without Jaren on the court at the 4. You move Lauri to the 4. You could play Jaren at the 5 and Lauri at the 4. You could play all three of them together, which is what we really like in a starting lineup. And so it just gives your team some variety and some versatility to play against different types of talent.
Keonte making the jump that he did that give you a little bit more, with his acceleration of his progress, did that give you a little bit more opportunities knowing, okay, we've got that spot locked down, now we can focus our attention in other areas?
I think that Keonte's play we've been very impressed with and excited about, and how he's progressing, how he's worked, how his conditioning, how he's more in control of his emotions, and how much just better player, stronger, more confident in his abilities. It's been fun to watch over the last couple of years.
What is a player like that, what goes into making that jump? Obviously, it's a lot of time in the gym, but I remember talking to Booner at Media Day, and he said, watch out for Keonte because he's put in the work just not on the court, but off the court as well. What does that say about his maturity that he's been able to take that step?
Yeah, when we drafted Keonte, it was a big theme for us and for him and his future was conditioning. I think that's for most players, if not all players, that's a big factor. And, conditioning in the NBA to me is a cheat code. and it's something that he focused on in his first couple years, but he really put in the time this year. I mean, he was around our gym with other players, with all of our young guys, and leading the way. And the conditioning has improved a lot in all of them, but particularly Keonte put in an amazing amount of time.
How hard is it to project a guy when you draft a guy 1 year out of high school, to project his ability to put on weight, put on muscle, and once you get him in your facility and you're with your dietitians, that is it difficult to project what they will look like in 2 or 3, maybe 4 years?
Oh, yeah. I mean, was it difficult for you to project what you would look like when you were 19?
Well, I was on the McDonald's and Burger King plan, so I kind of knew exactly what direction I was going to go. But yeah,
you knew where you were headed. Yeah, me too. I've lost some weight lately, but yeah, no, I understand. But yeah, at 19, you just don't know for sure. I mean, you see you have a picture in your mind of approximately what it can be, but so much of it just depends on the commitment, the work, being able to fight through adversity, and have good people around you that you trust and believe. And I think we have that in our organization. We have great people in our medical staff and in our nutrition, all the way through. So yeah, it's good. It's good that they've got that way. But I think that I did see in Keonte the ability to get stronger and in much better shape. I thought that was something that he could do if he wanted it.
There's a great Rick Majerus story about how he was recruiting a kid, and apparently he was super skinny, and he's sitting in the living room with the kid and his parents, and he said, I'd be concerned about your ability to put on weight, but I'm looking at your mom over here, and it shouldn't be a problem with those genetics. And I'm like, that's about a classic of Rick Majerus story as you can possibly get. But when you close on a trade, everybody talks about the acquisition, but also it's got to be tough as a guy that recruited, players like Taylor Hendricks, and you have to say, hey, we loved what you've done here, but we're pulling the trigger on this trade. Is that really the downside of your profession? Is that the hard part, to have those tough conversations?
Not so much in trades. I mean, trades are hard for sure. I think when you're cutting guys, it's harder.
Yeah.
But when you have a home to go play in the NBA in another city and another team, and maybe even a better opportunity, I was a player that was traded twice, and I was excited about it both times. Went to different situations, and so I think that sometimes things can get stagnant. But when you have players that they see an opportunity going forward, it's not so bad.
So I think that's a really interesting point. We just watched a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold, who'd played for a bunch of teams, and then finally it settled in and clicked for him in Minnesota, and then obviously winning a Super Bowl this year in Seattle. Is sometimes just a change of venue, a change of voice as a coach, can that trigger a player to take another step?
Yeah, and also just, with coaching, teammates, quality of your teammates, how they utilize your talents. Are they able to recognize what you do best, and instead of trying to fit you into a system? And every player is unique in that regard. I mean, some players can play in any system, but a lot of times, even the great ones, your team has to make a major adjustment over to a new player coming in how they play. And so, with Jaren, it's great because, he just plays. He plays defense. He plays offense. He runs the court. He, like I said, his versatility allows him to be able to be on the court with anybody in any style.
I know that he's got media availability, and we're going to play that a little bit later on. But overall, when you have your first conversation with him, and you and Austin and Ryan, and you say, hey, we're bringing you to Utah, what were those conversations like with him?
Oh, he was very positive and very excited about the opportunity to play in Utah. And, he was really excited for a change and something new in his career.
How appealing is it, not just him as a player, obviously that skill set, but the fact that he's 26 and he's got a ton of years left on his contract? How much did that play into the equation as well?
Sure. I mean, getting a player that's been a two-time All-Star and is still only 26, that's huge.
Yeah.
And that's very, very rare. And so, we're we couldn't be more excited than to have him in the fold, and you can feel the excitement with everybody in the organization right now.
Well, Jaren Jackson making his debut in the Delta Center tonight wearing a Jazz uniform. As we, we're in the stretch run of the season, what do you want to accomplish and see from him and see for him and Lauri out on the court together? What are some of your goals as you go into next season or this offseason and going into next season?
Well, I would say that, we're not realistically a playoff team. And I feel like, this off season, this summer, this fall, and next winter are going to be huge, and we're going to have a lot of time to figure all that out. Instead of doing it on the run, we'll have more time to really get those guys acclimated with one another in the off season.
So there is this thought process that when that trade came down the pipeline, that it felt like the Jazz had taken that step, and we'd all been waiting, and you guys have been incredibly patient, making sure the right deal was available to take that next step. But I know, and I'm sure you felt this from the community as well, the excitement like, okay, it's go time. Do you feel that in the front office as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Like our planning sessions are much different right now with the higher ups in the organization, and just as we're looking forward to the off season and what we can do to put a better team together.
Just, Austin and Jay-Z doing a lot of work in the preparation, but when a deal is coming together, do they then circle you in and then Ryan, or what are those conversations? I think people are fascinated to know kind of how quickly a trade can come together once Austin and Jay-Z kind of put the framework together.
Yeah, I mean, those guys that do most of the legwork and the phone calls to other organizations. But, Ryan and I are brought into every deal that has a chance or it gets cold or even discussed in before those calls are even made. So, yeah, everybody is involved in those decisions for sure.
Well, Danny, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to catching up with you again. But, again, congratulations. Awesome move, and I know a lot of people are really fired up about where this team is at right now and where they're going to be down the line.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Good luck with you as you're looking for a partner.
Hey, you know what? I'm just know this. Like, if you want to take a massive pay cut and you're bored from noon to 3, you always have a chair here. Just know that.
All right. Sounds good. You never know in this business, right?
No doubt. Thanks, Danny.
All right. See ya.
There he is, Danny Ainge.